I want nothing to do with Pagan Min and his soldiers. I only wish to be left in peace. I am sick of hearing about him. The next time I hear his name, I better hear "is dead" at the end. Do not forget that Pagan sided with the royal family when he first arrived. He held his blade hidden until the right moment. Fields of poppies have a nice smell to them, despite all the pain and suffering their products cause. I will miss the smell. Can you imagine the jewel that Kyrat once was? You can scarcely picture it, my friend, but look around and try. Try to understand how kind and green this land once was. It's amazing the things you take for granted once a war starts. Since the tea company turned into a drug front, I can't get a decent cup of tea in the morning. You're with the Golden Path. Is it true what they say about Amita and Sabal? Are they always fighting? Sabal believes in tradition. He says we must return to the old days if we want Kyrat to flourish. Amita is the opposite of Sabal. She wants to modernize Kyrat and do away with our past. She believes our traditions are holding us back. There's nowhere to run. I can't hide in my home because I know the army will knock on my door. And I can't go into the forest because they're there too. Don't tell anyone. But I've got a case of Shangri-Lager stashed away in a place no one will find it. When this war is over, I will give you a bottle. I don't know who this Bhadra is, but she can be Tarun Matara if she wants it. I understand it's important to our culture and Kyrat, but it was never that interesting to me. Banapur is a great village, but there are some who are jealous of its place of prominence. They can hate all they want to. I went to India once. All the colors and all the smells. My head was spinning. There are boring parts to being in a war zone. That's what surprises you. Long stretches of nothing when you're expecting some noise and terror, and then there's just nothing.
There is new blood in the Golden Path. This is why we will prevail. We are leaving the mistakes of the past behind. It will take time for all the young fighters to get confident, to understand the drills, to get over the fear and confusion of war, but they will. They have to. The future of Kyrat is at stake. We have two leaders, each with their own ideas about how things need to be run. They both believe in the cause, but two heads is not always better than one. I can't remember the last time I've seen Pagan Min, but I know he's around. You can sense him, feel his evil creeping around every corner, and we cannot rest until he's dead. Pagan Min has doubles. Did you know that? Even if you see him, you can't be sure that it's actually him. Best to shoot him in the head and figure it out later. Pagan Min was set up by the West to come in and take over Kyrat. I'm sure of this. There's no way he could have come up with all the resources and money himself. The villages in Banapur are fortunate. The rest of Kyrat is starving, but here they are well fed. It takes time to set up the supply lines. I understand the urgency to get out to other villages, but the army is dug in very deep. Oh, what I wouldn't do for a bottle of Shangri-Lager and a pack of royal cigarettes right now. Yeah, that would be a blessing from Banashur. Normally when people get attacked by big predators, they die. Even if they have all kinds of weapons. How in all the heavens did you manage to survive? Yeah, my little brother got into a fight with a tiger once. Before anyone knew what was happening, the tigers followed him whole. They shot the tiger and cut his stomach open, but it was too late. Before the Royal Guard blew up the movie theater, I saw a great movie about dinosaurs taking over an amusement park. It's incredible. Who can understand why life takes a turn for the worse? It's all part of a grander cycle. We are at war and soon we will be at peace. That shopkeeper keeps trying to get me to buy her dirty stories. You know, I would go somewhere else if there was somewhere else to go. Yara can't fight hungover anymore. It's just not a good idea. I need to be clear-headed when I fire a gun. Do you remember when music used to play on the radio? It was wonderful. And now we get static, and not the good kind. We get static coming out of Pagan Min's puppets. How do you take a break in a war? No one agrees on a time to rest. I'm always on the run, target. And I didn't choose this life. It chose me. So why wouldn't I pick up a gun and defend myself?
My husband loves to sew. He used to make clothes for the whole family. Now he makes uniforms for the Golden Path. I tried to help him, but I'm no good with the needle and thread. I'm good at repairing guns, though. So while my husband clothes the Golden Path, I ready their weapons. Together, we make a pretty great team. I hope Rabi Rana gets back on the air. He's worked so hard to get to where he is today. Started out in a shack behind his parents' house and everything. I miss Ravi Radio. He was so funny. Made your day better. Now it's just Min's propaganda on the radio. That makes your day worse. Amita and A.W.O.L have done a great job with the Golden Path. Things used to be at a stalemate. But now, there's a new generation of rebels who can make a difference. There's some conflict between Amita and A.W.O.L, so the leadership is a bit confused. But things are getting better. Bake, 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 that's all my grandfather does anymore. An army can't march on an empty stomach. Lucky for the Golden Path, grandfather is one of the best cooks in all of Kyrat. He also is famous all over the world for his bread. In fact, some people have joined the Golden Path just so they can eat his food. True story. We help the Golden Path and the Golden Path help us. Why, just the other day, they helped my mother catch a bunch of escaped chickens and repair the coop. Those chickens were hairy and mean too. Took some nice chunks out of a few soldiers.
The Golden Path leaders? Like a two-headed elephant pulling in opposite directions and going nowhere in the end. When the Golden Path was united, Mohan Ghale was the leader. That was a time of strength and hope. For a time. The death of Mohan Ghale broke the back of the Golden Path, but maybe the return of his son is an auspicious omen. Time will tell. Banapur is like an oasis in Kyrat. We are safe here, but beyond, things are different. The influence of Paul and the others is spreading a darkness. We are not hungry here, we are safe, but we still worry for the rest of Kyrat. Whatever happens at even the furthest reach of this country affects us all. We have the Golden Path to thank for our safety here. We have them to thank for the food we eat. They have much work to do for the rest of the country, but here, they keep us safe. Pagan Min is like a ghost. No one I know has seen him for years, but no one has forgot about him. His shadow is not far from us. I fear that Pagan Min has receded back into the shadows because he is working on terrible plans for us. Kyrat, my father told me that when Pagan Min first appeared in Kyrat, he was trusted. He was strange and different, but people wanted greatly to believe in him, to trust him. Kanan is a talented artist, and her Thagga paintings have something of the divine in them. But if she gave up the Rakshi, think how steady the brush in her hand would be. Many of us, most of us, have lost loved ones, homes. Many things have been lost to war, but here in Banapur, we are not starving. This cannot be overlooked. The elders spoke of the Rakshasa demons, and the stories would leave me lying awake some nights. Little did I know that I would see worse in my lifetime. Much worse. I don't want to hear any more nonsense about this serial killer making offerings to Yalang. It isn't happening. We Kiratis have more than enough to worry about. The Tarun Matara is an important ritual to our tradition, and we need to keep it sacred. That girl Bhadra, she would be perfect. She's an example of Kira herself. The Golden Path are good and strong and fight for us, but behind them are Kira and Banashur. We must never forget that and make the right tributes and pilgrimages.
If all of Kyrat was like Banapur, the whole country would be happy and productive. But sadly, that is not the case. The mood in Banapur is good and morale is generally high, but being cut off from the rest of the country is taking its toll. My cousin enjoyed his job at the tea company. It was good, honest work, but now it's just a drug operation run by slaves.
I have not seen Pagan in years. Who has? No one I've spoken to. Maybe he's already dead. Pagan Min is insane. Anyone can tell that, but he is very smart. He is not one to be underestimated. I fear he has a plan for Kyrat and I hope he does not succeed. Why do we let a foreigner who knows nothing about us or our culture do this to us? It makes absolutely no sense. We should have burned him at the stake by now.
Namaste. I need to go by Monkey Lady's house. I can't find my sandals. I think her eldest monkey Lenin might have stole them when I was out at the market. My father taught me bow hunting at an early age and I developed quite the knack for it. It's an elegant weapon that the rebels don't use enough. The water from the well tastes different lately. I'm not sure if it has something to do with the war, but I remember it was sweeter years ago.
The Golden Path are fierce fighters, but they are skinny. Every time I see one of them, I want to invite one over for a meal. How can you fight a war hungry? I almost joined the Golden Path last year, but I kept sleeping in and missing all the training drills.
Then my sister had a baby and helping her took priority. Women are fierce fighters too. If an elephant is charging towards you, do you care what's between its legs? My father and I went to fights at the arena when I was a young girl. I haven't been in years, but I was thinking of taking my niece. The forests have been pillaged by Noor to fill the arenas. My last 3 hunting trips yielded a couple of squirrels, and that's not enough to feed my family. This is the birthplace of Banapur in Kyrat, and our destiny is greater than this petty war. We must not lose hope.
One of the first things Amita did when she came to power was to bring women into our fighting forces. That upset a lot of people. Amita claimed to be Kyrat's first woman warrior in centuries, or so they say. But of course, she wasn't the first. Women have always fought in Kyrat's war. Their involvement has just been ignored in the history books and forgotten through time. But Amita's changing that for the better. More power to her. We're lucky here. Banapur has been pretty sheltered from the war. I mean, we're not totally unaffected. We haven't had Shangri-Lager or royals. I miss those smokes. Ever since Min cut us off, but those are minor things. Others are not so lucky. Outside the valley in Depleur's territory, those people aren't missing their beer or cigarettes. They're missing family members. Shasta's monkeys have been running amok again. They stole from Oja's house, but he refuses to say what they took. Knowing Oja though, one can probably guess. It's not as if we don't know what he does. But it's harmless and it makes him happy. Problem is, it makes the monkeys happy too. In any case, it's a good thing the monkeys are fixed. At least Shasta said they were going to be fixed. Before I joined the Golden Path, I worked at the tea factory. Those were some heady days. Running about, combining this leaf with that. We were reinventing the tea genre. Kyrat tea was famous. That's all gone now. Now it's nothing but drugs. No innovation. No pushing the boundaries. Kira willing one day I'll be able to put this gun down and go back to the leaf. People haven't seen Pagan Min around here in ages. Some even say he died a long time ago. Our forces are fighting his. We hear Min's propaganda on the radio, but no one has seen him thus far south in years. Doesn't really matter if he's dead or alive though. The war Min started is still going. It's up to us to end it. Rumor is you've been looting the bodies of our fallen comrades. If family members found out about that, they'd be angry. Those articles aren't yours to take. But I understand. It's not like the dead can make use of their stuff. And in battle, you have to take what you can get.